Hey folks, I just wanted to take a moment to record a little informal video. Basically, I spoke with a number of students that are looking to study for the MCAT this summer, and once I was able to share a few tips and tricks, they felt a lot better and they felt as though they had a better idea of how to use Anki to study for the MCAT. I'm going to talk specifically about the mile down deck, a few different settings that you can change, as well as a few other add-ons that you can use. And yeah, I'll just get right into it. So basically, the problem with the mile down deck is the way that it's split up. So if you were a person studying for the MCAT and you start with biology, let's just say that you are reading the books and you study chapter 1 of the books, it's probably going to be cell theory. So you click on biology, you click study now, and you're presented with a card about fetal hemoglobin. So that doesn't really make any sense, right? The way that the deck presents these cards, it almost assumes that you already know the content and you just need to reinforce it. I think that's not a great way of doing it. So the way to fix that is to go into Browse, scroll all the way down to Tags, click on Mile Down, click on Control A, Control J. You can see the cards are now a different color. If you're on a Mac, it's Command A, Command J. You look, all the cards are now disabled. That's what that did. And what you do is just go into Browse, go into, say, Biology, go into, let's say, Parts of a Cell. And that's not that many cards, so we'll go ahead and let's assume that we did Chapter 2 as well, and that's probably viruses and bacteria. So you go into that section, Control A, Control J. Oh, I think I did it twice there. Yep, okay, so we now have the parts of a cell and viruses and bacteria enabled, and every other card is disabled. So you can see it'll show 20 cards. That's actually not even true. This is 20 cards that the deck has been configured to show per day as a new card. I don't know how many you want to show, but usually I would just set it to some number that was high enough such that the cards that I enabled would be something that I could learn that day. So maybe 100 is fine. And let's just say set the reviews to something really high as well. And we click on save. So you see there are 34 cards. That is all the cards from the parts of a cell and the viruses and bacteria that are enabled. And now when you go to study them, they are there. And you're getting those types of cards. So it's only the things that you've studied that you reinforce with Anki. Just going in without any settings being changed, you're going to get cards that are all over the place. That is not how you should study with Anki. I think that's it's mission critical that you change that. I think if you're going to use the mile down deck or any of the derivatives that are broken down this way, I think you should change this. Now, so we've learned how to enable certain cards. We've learned that you can change how many cards show up that are new per day and how many get reviewed per day. I'll pause there to say I don't have any thoughts or opinions. There's probably research out there on how many you should do. I don't know. You can go and look at that. But I just made sure that I learned a good chunk of new cards every day and that I had a good chunk of cards to be reviewed every day. There's one other setting in here under display order that I think is mission critical as well. And I say that because, sorry, the term mission critical is a little dramatic. But, I'm very passionate about Anki, so I'm going to stick with it. So the setting here that I think everybody should change, well, I like changing it, is showing the new cards only after you've done your review. So under new/review, click show after review. I don't think that's the default setting. The reason that you do this is because there will be days where you're just thinking to yourself, I don't want to learn new cards, but you want to review the cards that you've already learned so that they're fresh in your mind. And this will allow you to do that. I'll also mention here my opinion on taking a day off. It's like you definitely should when you're studying for the MCAT. Be kind to yourself. Take some days off as a break. I'm skeptical on the idea of not doing your Anki on a day off. One, it's not that much work. It's like, maybe an hour's worth of work. It keeps things fresh in your mind, and it also prevents you from having to do even more work the next day, because any card that you don't study today is just going to show up tomorrow if you took today off. So if you change this setting to do new cards only after the reviews are done, you can go ahead and change. You can go ahead and just review and then take the rest of the day off, right? I think that's a healthy way of kind of keeping your head in the game, feeling productive, but also not going too overboard. If I'm honest, I also think it's okay to not do anything, but do your Anki and also do your daily cars passage. I think it's good to keep that in mind. Again, it's like the psychological thing. You feel good for doing it. You feel like your head is still in the game and that you did something productive, but you are going to take a break, right? Like, anyway, I'm rambling a bit, but I think it's just important to try to understand how to juggle days off and still make them feel good. Okay, so that rambling session is over. The next thing I'm going to talk about here is some add-ons. So I found an article about how people use controllers with Anki, because it's less of an ergonomic nightmare of having your hand over the keyboard hitting keys 1, 2, 3, and 4. I mean, those can be remapped, but you know what I mean, right? It's not that comfortable. So there's an app called Kentonki. Basically, you get the app installed, and I think you just go into tools, add-ons, and then you can add it from there. You can just Google instructions on how to import this app. But basically, it lets you take an existing controller, and there are several that are supported, and you map all of the different options to the different keys, or the different buttons rather, on the controller. I was partial to this controller. It's very small. It doesn't necessarily look like it on my screen right now, but it's big enough that if you hold it in a certain way so that your thumb is over the A, X, B, and Y keys, and you just hold the rest of it in the rest of your hand, like almost like you're making the position you make when you're doing a thumb war. That's how you're holding the controller. It was so ergonomically pleasant that I told all my friends I'm such a fan of it. It makes Anki way more comfortable. In the winter, you can be under a blanket and be all cozy. In the summer, you can. I guess it would be the same, but it would be cool with a controller. I'll say that. Anyway, this is a fantastic feature in Anki to have this add-on, and it's amazing. It made me want to do Anki, honestly. So definitely check that out. Now the other add-on, I don't really know as much about it. And I forgot to open the tab here, so sorry for the clicking, but image occlusion. Basically, there are so many different things in studying for the MCAT and other topics in general where a picture might be the best way to do it, right? And this image occlusion enhanced app essentially allows you to cover parts of an image, and the quote-unquote show card is really just showing the hidden part of the image. So, super useful if you have a number of images that you want to turn into a card. So, yeah, I would say familiarize yourself with how to install apps. Maybe install these two or any others that you might find. Get yourself a nice controller. And remember, I'll just go through it really quickly. If you go into browse, you can re-enable and disable and re-enable any cards that you want. Start with all of them disabled. Only re-enable the cards that you actually want to study. You can change some of the options here to show more cards and review more cards per day. And you can say show new cards after review. So, I hope that was helpful. I know these settings completely changed how I used Anki. Like it was, I remember when I first discovered, especially the enabling and disabling of cards, that completely changed how I studied. So, yes, I hope everyone enjoyed the video, and I hope that the MCAT studying goes well for you. Good luck on your test. Be kind to yourself, take breaks, and don't forget to do your cards, your review cards on a break day. So, thank you very much. I will talk to you later.